Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Miracle Mindset Monday for this week. So remember, with our Miracle Mindset Monday, it is a generalized reading for the week. There are no personalized readings. It's just a generalized energy forecast for the week. Now, if you would like your own personalized Miracle Mindset Monday with your own personalized energy forecast for the week, then you can go and visit awakeningmiracles.org, where you can find out all about what a Miracle Mindset prescription is and what it entails for you. So as we begin this week, I was really drawn to if I can get it here, to the Frequency Tarot. So for the Frequency, that is one of the decks that we are going to be using this week, is the Frequency Tarot. We're also going to be using the Nature's Whisper deck, another beautiful deck. And then we're also going to be using the Answer is Simple. So those are the decks that we will be using for this week. So let's go ahead and let us begin. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. So let's go ahead and let's begin for this week with the Frequency Tarot and see what beautiful messages it has for us. Ooh, okay. Ooh, beautiful. Okay, we're going to do one more. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, we're actually going to do those two too. All right, so for our first card for this week, it is about uniqueness. And so this isn't about you pointing out, oh, this is how I'm unique, or this is how I do things, or anything like that. This card, uniqueness, is really about allowing yourself to realize that you have a unique expression of love. Everyone expresses love, it's just they do it in a very different way. And what we're asked about this week is to really express our uniqueness. And that means to express our love. That is how I really look at this card. It's not about looking at how am I different from everyone, or how can I be different from anyone. It's really, this card says to me, it's about, you know what, let me express my unique expression of love. Instead of trying to express it the way maybe society tells me, or to express it the way other people tell me, or the way that, you know, the schools or this or that has told me. No, let me go ahead and express it in my own unique way. The way that feels good, the way that feels peaceful, the way that feels compelling to me. So that is our first card. Then, as we really begin to express that uniqueness, express that love, then we begin to expand. There's this sense of really expanding outside of your own comfort zone, because you're really embracing the truth of who you are as you begin to do this, which then makes you, really begin to explore more of yourself, explore more of the truth of who you are. And that's what we really want to do, to explore that truth of who we are. And yesterday in my ACIM support group, we did lesson 61, which was I am the light of the world. And with that card, it was really, with that lesson, what it was telling us is that once we recognize our unique contribution, our unique love to the world, we realize that we are here to light up the world. And what does light do? Light dispels shadow. That's all that light does. It doesn't fight shadow. It doesn't destroy shadow. It dispels shadow. It's all that it does. And so as we become more self-aware of the truth of who we are, we begin to feel this sense of upliftment. It's like, wow, I am so much more powerful than I ever thought. I'm so much more than I ever thought. I am this unique expression of love. And once I begin to really integrate that sense of, wow, I am good enough, I am more than worthy enough, and the way that I express my love is more than good enough, there, like I said, that expansion starts, that self-exploration starts, and that upliftment begins because you begin to see more of who you are. But how can you practice that? You know, I'm not just here to give you a card and say, here's my interpretation. I really want to kind of give you a tool that you can use this week to really assist you with that. And what I want to encourage you to do for this week is to show your love, share your love. Maybe do something that I like to do is love bombs, and I will get my little Post-its. I will write inspirational little messages on the Post-its, and then I will go to a grocery store and I will put them just randomly places, and that's it. And that's my way of spreading my unique love, because I love writing. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and especially writing like inspirational messages and thinking about, wow, I can't wait for like someone to find this. And then they're just gonna be like, oh, I wonder who wrote this. Like, I wonder who left this. And just having that mystery and maybe just, having them feel that. But I want you this week to maybe do some self-exploration and be like, okay, well, how do I express, how does the divine express its love through me? What are your passions? What makes you happy? What makes you feel timeless? That's how you begin to know what really is your unique contribution to the world, what your the unique way in which the divine speaks through you. That begins to expand you, begins to uplift you. So really start that process this week. What makes me happy? What makes me passionate? And looking to that. So then let's go to the answer is simple. And let's see what beautiful message we get from the answer is simple. Goodness, we have lots of messages that want to come from the answer is simple. Okay, thank you. All right. So, our first one, which I love, and goes perfectly with that uniqueness, expansion, self-exploration, and upliftment, is seeing the light. Seeing the light in yourself. Seeing the light in your situations. Just because something bad happens doesn't mean that the whole rest of the day has to be terrible. Just because someone was rude to you doesn't mean your whole day is ruined. It doesn't mean all people are rude. It just simply means there was a situation. And instead of focusing solely on that situation, I am willing to see it differently. I am willing to see the light in that situation. And that's it. And as we begin to see the light in that situation, that brings us to that self-exploration and saying, okay, why am I upset? Why is this upsetting me? And then once we realize why it's upsetting us, we get to the core, we let it go, and then what happens? We expand and we get uplifted because we're like, wow, I came to this beautiful realization, and that's it. I'm trying very much to learn something from each trial. That's beautiful. And you know what? Instead of saying a trial, this is just a suggestion, you do not have to take it, but instead of saying trial, it's an opportunity for growth. Because when you're saying trial, what you're really doing is you're saying, okay, it's a test. God doesn't do tests. The divine doesn't test you and say, well, did you do this right? Are you really applying those tools that I gave you? That's not what it does. What it does is it gives you an opportunity to use the tools that you have learned. It gives you an opportunity in which to express that tool or express that uniqueness so you can expand, so you can become self-aware, so you can become uplifted. Then the next card that we have is yes, it is, but it seems like a trial or a struggle. And it very well may seem that way. But once again, if that's the way that you look at that try, or if you look at it, then that's of course what it will be, because perception is reality to you. Remember, our thoughts come from our beliefs. Our beliefs then create our thoughts then create our emotions, our thoughts then create the perception that we see. So that's always something to really keep in the back of your mind is, you know what? I could be willing to see this differently instead of seeing it as trial, tribulation, challenge, those words. We can instead say, you know what? This is an opportunity for growth. So then our next card is, as we begin to do so, don't take offense. Don't take offense to what other people's judgments may be. No offense. And that can be really hard. I believe you mean. I know that it can be. And it's not hard. It's just so different to not take offense to what people say and how people purvey us, because we are so used to, really seeing that and seeing that as a valid point and saying, well, the way people see me is, good, great, good, bad. Don't take offense to it. People are where they need to be. And the way that they are doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person. Doesn't mean that they're a terrible person. It just may mean they don't know how to open up. So the card, you see this lady is in this, I don't know if you can see, there you go, is in this golden carriage, and there's this guy, and he's splashing mud. It doesn't mean that she thinks that she's above him. It doesn't mean that she thinks she's better than him. All that it means is that, she may not even realize she's in her own little world, maybe in her own little craziness. And she doesn't even know that she just splashed mud on this person, because she's so introspective, looking at her own problems, looking at her own thing, just being like, oh man, ugh, I am not enjoying this. So don't take offense. People will say things. And what we have to realize is whatever someone says, if it does upset us, it means that for us, there's something there that we can look at. Once again, back to that self-exploration. Why is this upsetting me? Is it because some part of me believes it's true? Is it because, I don't think I'm good enough? Or, what is this person reflecting to me? What is that reflection? And just being aware of that. What is that? What is it? What are they saying? What did they say, or what did they do that is reflecting back to me? That's it. Nothing more. You don't have to take offense to it. It's they're in their world and you're in yours. And when those two worlds come together, it's just about realizing, okay, what's the reflection here? What's happening here? And that's all you have to look at. And that's a great way not to take offense to things. So, yes, always learning from our own lessons. That's all that we're ever doing, really, is we're always remembering the truth of who we are. And that truth may be taught to us in many different ways. We oftentimes choose pain and suffering because we don't know that there is another way, which is joy and happiness. So we can learn to remember the truth of who we are through pain, suffering, sacrifice, all of those things, or we can choose to learn through happiness, joy, and freedom. But it's based on our choice, on what we want to and how we want to remember. Do I want to remember through pain, or do I want to remember through joy? And I choose, for myself, I choose joy. I choose happiness. Yes, there are situations that rise up that may not be joyful, that may not be happy, but instead of focusing on, oh my gosh, this is pain, this is suffering, I have to remember, that I am I am spirit. Spirit I am, free of all limits, safe and healed and whole, pure, perfect, protected, and provided for in all ways. I'm free to forgive, and I'm free to save the world. This situation does not define me. This situation cannot compel me. This situation can't do anything unless I give it the power to do so. That's all I can do. I can either give it power or I can disempower it. And that's where our next card comes in, which is about create. which is, in this world, we do not create anything. What we do is we make. Because to create something means to make eternal. But to make something, you can make it and then you can unmake it. So let us this week really make something beautiful, something wonderful, something fantastic. Instead of making a mountain out of a molehill, which is all too often what we all tend to do, including myself. We all make mountains out of molehills, and we don't need to. Instead, let's make, something beautiful. Let's make this great. So let's do a quick little review of this week, of what the energies are, what the general energy forecast is for this week. So we know it's about uniqueness. And remember, uniqueness isn't about focusing on, well, how am I better than other people, or how am I different from other people? It's how is it that the divine expresses its love through me. That's what uniqueness is. At least that's what I am saying that it is for me. How can the divine express its love through me? As I do that, I kind of enter into this state of self-exploration, of really finding out, okay, well, where does that come from? As I do that, I expand and I get uplifted because I'm recognizing more and more of the truth of who I am. As I do that, the things that may come up is I need to be willing to see the light. I need to be willing to see things differently, all my situations, and be willing to see them in the light. I don't need to take offense to what other people say or what other people do or anything like that, because I realize that it is actually an opportunity for growth when that happens. Instead of seeing it as, oh, you have affronted me, you have done something terrible. Instead, let me see this as an opportunity for growth. Okay, well, what's that reflecting back to me? Why is that upsetting me? And there's a beautiful lesson from A Course in Miracles. I'm never upset for the reason that I think I am, which is such a beautiful lesson. And then instead of making mountains out of molehills, let's instead make something else. Let's make something beautiful. Let's make a beautiful arabesque. Let's make a beautiful landscape. Let's make that instead of making insanity and craziness and, so forth and so on. So that is the, oh, you know what? We did not pull from the Nature's Whisper deck. So let's pull from that one, and then that will be the end for our Miracle Mindset Monday. So let's see. What? Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. So our two last cards here are, the first one is that renewal of peace. Okay, just a beautiful card, renewal of peace. As we begin to make something new, make that beautiful arabesque, make that beautiful landscape out of, the perceived offense, as we see the light, as we begin to really explore why that has, affected us in whatever way, we actually get to this place of, okay, wow, like this makes me feel a lot more peaceful. In doing this and seeing it in this way, it's actually renewing my peace instead of making me go farther into, dread. And then also hope and happiness come about. Hope and happiness come about because we are in this beautiful renewal of peace. And I actually want to read you a little bit from that card for number 48. And it says, you have reached a time filled with healing energy. So of course, we're going to enter this time. We're doing all of this work. So of course, we are doing some healing. New progress and satisfaction. You are at a point for festivity. So this is not something to be like, oh my God, this week is going to be so crazy and people are going to be coming out of the woodworks and, I'm going to be tested. No. Oh my gosh. I get this beautiful opportunity to grow. I get this beautiful opportunity to really explore the truth of who I am. And I get this beautiful opportunity to be uplifted, to have a renewal of peace, to really not take offense to things, to have a brand new way of looking at life. I mean, that's something to celebrate. That's something to be excited about. The energy in this phase is supportive and prompts a feeling of winning. Who doesn't want to win? Who doesn't want to win? Let worries or challenges from the past fade away as you focus on the joy that is surrounding you. Feel encouraged and excited about the potential of all the wonderful promises that are being kept. Celebrate and enjoy your life. Absolutely beautiful. I think that one card sums up the whole entire reading so beautifully. And that is so beautiful that you know the truth of who you are. That is beautiful. So I think that card, that last card, really does bring up that beautiful fabulousness of the whole entire reading. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. For those of you that follow me on my Miracle Mind, or for those that follow me on my ACIM support group, I will be over there and we will be reading lesson number 62 here in just a minute. And I will see you all later. Don't forget that today at around 9 a.m.-ish, my episode of Soulfully Awakened will be coming out with Nicole Altman. We had a beautiful conversation, so that'll be coming out, free to listen to. And then also for this week, don't forget on Wednesday, I will be doing our spiritual discussion group. Do not forget about that. We will be talking about the gift of presence and how beautiful and fabulous that feels. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. If you're interested in your own Miracle Mindset Monday, please feel free to visit awakeningmiracles.org.